Hello everybody and welcome back to Mount Hope Meadows. My name is Jake. We live on an 8-acre hobby farm down here in wonderful southeastern Pennsylvania. Nice, beautiful, sunny day. And today we're going to be talking about our composting method with the goats and the chickens. And we'll also spread some manure. So today's a little bit above 50 degrees today, and we're gonna be using, here I'll spin the camera. We're gonna be using our 570 Sportsman Polaris. I'll be doing a review on this machine here in the next couple months or so. We've had it for about 1.5 years now. So I'll make a review on that soon, and then we'll be using our 25 bushel manure spreader, and we'll haul some goat manure out. You guys see this quite a bit, but that's kind of what we do all winter long here for 2 weeks. So we'll start with this. I'll just fill it up and we'll put the GoPro on and drive over to the field. All right, so we're gonna make 2 loads. Been a little while since I cleaned it out. I think it was a little over 2 weeks, so I gotta make 2 loads. But I'll go dump this one and I'll come back and I'll record the other one. All right, so I got this second load loaded up. We'll head over to the field. On the way I gotta pick up a fence rail because we got a fence rail that's broken along the road, so I'll fix that on our way back. Alright, so it's a couple days later now since you last saw me, and we cleaned out the goat pen. But we're going to be talking about our composting system today. And I'll go ahead and start with the chickens, then we'll move to the goats, then we'll move to the other compost piles. Alright, so with our chickens here, we use a deep composting method with wood chips, straw, and other garden waste. And I just recently cleaned out that side. I still need to put a few more wood chips over here, but you can see that side is much lighter than this side. Well, I don't know if it really picks it up on camera, but this side still has a couple more months to go, month or 2 to go before it's ready to be cleaned out. Really, once it's ready to be cleaned out, you can tell because there won't be a whole lot of visible wood chips left. It'll pretty much just be all broken down, but things have just started to really thaw out. So the chickens are scratching it up more because it was frozen before. And this side, I cleaned that out a couple weeks ago. This side, as I said, still needs more wood chips. I like to put down 4 to 6 inches. So this size got about that much. So this side still needs about 2 more wagon loads though. With this, every now and then I'll come around with a pitchfork and I'll poke at it, agitate it a little bit, make sure the chickens are doing what they do. Besides that, the only work involved is taking out the wood chips and putting new wood chips in. Besides, on the composting side, the chickens do pretty much all the work, and they poop in it, which adds more nutrients to it. And then I'll go show you where the compost goes and where it sits until we use it. Alright, so this is where all the manure winds up from the second half of spring, summer, and early fall. They wind up in these 2 piles. This pile is 2 years old, and it needs to be spread out in the next couple weeks. We'll spread some on the goat pasture, we'll take some to the garden, and we even spread some on the lawn if we have extra. But then this pile is what You can see some of the wood chips and stuff that came from the chicken pen. That was a couple weeks ago. And then the goat manure from this past summer's in here too. This is from like 2 summers ago or something. You can see it's dirt. I maybe turned this pile with the tractor maybe twice. You can see it's dirt. A bit of grass growing on this. This pile was a couple feet tall, and it just composts pretty much down to dirt. Yeah, and then so with the chicken compost, it will just sit here until we use it and just finish breaking down on its own. I'll probably take the tractor and pile this up onto a mound just so it's kind of out of the lawn more and away from this pile, so there can be more of a line between them because they're just kind of flowing together. And that's the good compost that's going to get used. That's still got another year to go. Then when we clean, I'm still thinking about this part. Our composting system's kind of new and I'm still working a few things out of it. But I'm still trying to figure out where I want to put the other half of the chicken compost. Whether I put it here, I don't know, or if I put it in a separate pile, like on this side, closer to the rocks, or down over there. I don't really know yet. But there'll be a video in the next couple of weeks of spreading that pile and goat pasture. But this is where all the manure winds up for the spring and summer. And with the winter, we spread all the manure out in the field. I'm sorry if it's a little windy. If you hear the wind noise or anything, there's a storm rolling in from the west. But in the winter, all the manure gets spread out on the fields. So, because if we didn't do that, we would wind up with too much manure and too much compost, and we wouldn't have enough space for it all and be able to get rid of it all. And as you can see, the goat pasture is just starting to turn green, just starting to come alive. And that's that's the peak time to spread your compost, because that grass is wanting to accept a whole lot of nutrients and stuff. So get your compost down and the plants will absorb it much better. We are also going to be spreading lime and on the yard and the pastures and stuff. That typically gets spread in the fall, but it just fits in better with our fertilizing schedules that we just do it in the spring. Because most people do it in the fall, because that way it just gets a chance to soak into the soil and build up the soil. But we'll just do it in the spring. We did that last year, and our yard takes about, our 2.5 acre yard and pasture take about 300 pounds of lime. Well, I was spreading it last year, but we'll see what happens. All right, so as I said earlier, all the goat manure from the little spot outside and inside, and in the winter months, it gets hauled out to the fields, to the manure spreader. And then in the warm growing months, it gets sent down to the compost pile. We also do leaf mulch compost. This compost we do nothing with. It sits in a big pile from fall till the spring when we use it. And for the most part, it just breaks down. We use that directly into the garden just to help with weed control and helps the moisture stay in the soil during the dry months. It's great. It's practically free and we get tons of it. This will should cover the whole garden, and if we don't, we have a whole nother pile down the road at my mom's house. So during the summer months or the spring months, when I can get fresh grass clippings to make like hot compost with, that's what these two bins are for. I might wind up building a third one this spring over in this corner. I just made a pile last year. That worked. I don't know, the bins can be a little bit hard to get into. To both do the same thing. Feel like I could mount it up a little bit more in the bin, but this way I think I could make like a more of a tunnel mound. But they both worked fine. We just do this in summer months if we need some compost for the garden, just for some plants or something. And that gets ready in about a month. So it's pretty much just a quick composting. That's pretty much it for a composting system. We're still working out a few things. I'm sorry, it's starting to get rainy and windy outside, so I came in here. But that's pretty much it for our composting system. It is pretty new to us, so we're still working on a few kinks and stuff. But between the chickens, the goats, and our other ways of composting, like the leaf mulch and the hot composting system, the leaf mulch we've been doing for years. We've always done that. But making compost piles that we use, we really haven't done that much. I started the hot composting last year. I wanted to try that, and it worked sort of, kind of well last year. I'm still new to it, so I'm still trying out what works for me. What works for me might not work for you. You really just gotta try your own thing. But you just gotta figure out what works for your farm, what works for your yard. If you're just living in a neighborhood and you just want to make your own compost, you can make it with leaves, sticks, grass clippings, weeds, garden waste and stuff. Just plant matter and stuff. You can make your own compost. It goes right back into the garden, right back into the soil, into your own plants that you can enjoy. That's pretty much our composting system in a nutshell. We make plenty of compost for ourselves. We even give some away to our neighbors, our family and friends. So that's gonna be it for this video, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a great day.